I did my commercial analysis on a commercial made by Proline. Proline is a company that deals with lotteries, and it has different types of lotteries for different people. Now in this commercial, it starts off as some assistant manager for a pro football team is mixing a big jug of Gatorade, and he looks to leave, and then while he's leaving, all of a sudden this big bottle of pills start falling in the Gatorade, and it closes in, and it's a bottle of muscle reactants, and at least 50 pills fall into this big jug type cooler thing of Gatorade. Now, then it goes to the football game, and the red team, which the assistant manager was for, all of its players are very loopy and they're falling asleep, and some of them were lined up backwards, and one of them's even touching a ref's face and telling him how soft it is, and there's a couple players cuddling on the sidelines, and then all of a sudden the quarterback snaps the ball, and he backs up in the pocket, and he's looking at the ball, and he hands it off to the running back, and the running back starts cuddling with it like a little baby, and all of a sudden this defender just completely lays him out. So he's on the ground cold, and all of a sudden the camera closes in on this guy in the crowd that stands up and starts yelling, and it closes in and he has a lottery ticket, and then the words come on the screen and it says, anything can happen, anyone can win, and that would be the end of my Proline commercial. Now, I watched this commercial on ESPN a few weeks ago, and it was on around 7:30 p.m. To me, it seems like this commercial is focusing on adult males, probably from ages 25 to 50, because of the football team, and that pro football usually attracts those type of males, and the male that was in the crowd seemed to be in that age limit, so that's why I think that it attracted to them. This commercial may be offensive to some people. The reason for this is because maybe they don't believe in drug use or muscle relaxants. I don't know. That could maybe set off some people and think it was wrong to put that on there. Maybe some people don't think football's right, and that it's becoming too aggressive of a sport. Maybe this could set some people off. Also, the commercial was aired on ESPN, so this would also go back to the males between 25 and 50 years old. So this is the type of audience that I think it's dealing with. Now, obviously, I think this commercial is a comedy commercial because of the comedic effect that it had on me right away. When I first watched it, I was on the ground laughing because I thought it was a hilarious commercial personally, because how many mistakes can you make for a bunch of muscle relaxants to fall into a Gatorade and dissolve for people to drink it? I thought it was pretty funny, but in the end, when I look back at the commercial, I didn't even care what it was about. I didn't even remember what it was about. All I remembered was the muscle relaxants. So, in a way, I think that they did this commercial poorly because they didn't say it was about lotteries until the very end. And even then, I was kind of confused. Mostly, what I think most viewers take out of this commercial is just the funny aspect of it, and that's all they're going to remember about it. Maybe they'll go to the website and look up the commercial, and then they'll be like, hey, this is a lottery, maybe I should join. Maybe that's what they're going for, but for me, I felt like it was confusing for it to be a lottery, because what does a football game with a bunch of players running around have to do with a lottery? But then again, Proline, I guess, is known for these types of commercials, these comedic, funny commercials, and it must be working for them, because when I looked at the website, they were doing pretty well. So maybe that's what they were going for. Also, for the commercial, it seemed as if when the assistant manager left and the pills all of a sudden dropped in, maybe some people think that it's, that would never happen, and maybe they think that that's why they didn't like the commercial. There's a lot of reasons not to like this commercial, actually, and there's a lot of reasons for this commercial not to work well on TV. And that's kind of why I picked this commercial, is because I thought that maybe I would portray it in a little bit of a different view than most think, and that maybe people could look at it a different way, because it can be looked at a lot of different ways. And I know the lasting impact on me it had was that it was funny, and a lot of commercials try to do that these days. They try to make it funny, but as a persuasion commercial, I don't think that it fully does that in a good way. I think it's more of it attracts the viewers in a more of comedic way, and that if Proline wants to if they want to do better in the business of lotteries, they need to make their commercials a little bit more about lotteries and a little bit less about comedy And that would be my final opinion about this commercial with Proline and the lotteries that they do.